This YCN segment is brought to you by Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Rob Taylor, the Executive Director of the Lebanon Area Chamber of Commerce, kind enough to join us today. And now we move over to the Red Sox, and a team that started hot has been struggling since that big 17-2 start, basically playing 500 baseball. They're back home. They got a few against Oakland, dropping the first two, and then they play Baltimore. Behind the Yankees in second place. Will they ever see first place again in the American League East?
Yeah, the Sox have come back down to earth. Actually, they're threatening to lose a series, being swept for a series for the first time in this season. You know, I think it's a long, hard season. We were all very excited about this, the way that they started and the way it came out of the gate. As I said, they've sort of floated back to earth. I think the reality is going to be a tight one. I think they hopefully can hang in there with the Yankees and maybe look at the wild card or trying to compete with them for the first place. But the 17-2 start.
Right, that was never going to hold up.
No way.
We were getting a little too excited, but we are maybe a little bit more positive. Last week when we sat here, David Price had a little bit of a scare. It appears it's only carpal tunnel, mild case or whatever. He did get the win against the Blue Jays on Saturday in his next start. He looks like he'll be okay, hopefully going forward. Erod last night only pitching 5 innings. He struggled. Pomerantz a little bit. Bigger concern, starting pitching or this bullpen who's all of a sudden started walking a few too many guys?
I think it's a little of both there. You know, the whole thing with Price and playing the video game probably was a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
I literally, what's it called? Fortnite? Fortnite is what he's playing. It's
all the
rage. Game. I guess somehow he's hurting his hands doing that. He's promised to sort of lay off the game, at least around the ballpark. I mean, they literally have a lot of time to kill.
In the clubhouse, they're playing it all the time.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe he needs to hook up with PD and play some cards or backgammon or whatever those guys like to play. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not so much worried about the pitching. I think there's a couple of guys that are concerning me more on the offensive side.
Yeah, the offensive side, they got the catching position, Sandy Leon and Christian Vasquez. So we'll start with that. They have really struggled. It looked like Vasquez last year was going to make that leap, get a little bit better offensively, defensively a little better. They both struggled offensively and defensively. Then they got Blake Swihart. I mean, is it just one of those things where they're just going to have to play through it and not everybody can be perfect offensively?
Yeah, Swihart wants out. That was the latest report I found out about him. He's sort of asking to be traded. He's number 3 in the depth chart, and in that situation, you're lucky if you get 10 at bats a season. I mean, he's not getting any productivity at all because he doesn't get a chance to play. Vasquez, it really was his ball game if he grabbed the reins, but he's performing very poorly this year, especially at the plate. But even like you say, he's getting players are stealing on him with success.
Yeah.
He's only caught a couple of guys running, and he just doesn't seem to have it this year. Everybody was asking which one of him was going to show up. A couple years ago, he had a hell of a season.
Yes.
And 3 or 4 years ago, he was terrible. So, it's kind of, we were all kind of keeping our fingers crossed that he was going to come through this year and really be a player, but
still has. I mean, he's still young, so you wonder, okay, maybe he'll find it, but it just seems that way that it's like maybe he won't find it and they're going to have to go in another direction. But at this point, their hands are really tied. They have Leon and they have Vasquez. Another player offensively is Jackie Bradley Jr. We know what we get with him. Great defense, below average offense. But does his defense make up for what he doesn't bring to the plate? That's the big question.
That certainly has been the calculus at this point in the season, that they certainly seem to be willing to sort of patiently wait for him to get his ball going again in terms of his offensive prowess. It's concerning me. I was looking up some metrics on him. You can go real deep with the internet. And it seems as though the opposing teams have really figured him out. They know where to locate the ball in his strike zone, that he's just not getting the right launch angle, and he's just getting out a lot. And so, we're all sort of a little bit worried, I guess, about JBJ. And I mean, I just like the guy a lot. He seems like a hardworking guy. you hope he can put it all back together and get his game on again.
And maybe giving him some nights off, maybe that'll help. He sat down a couple of nights, put Benintendi in center and J.D. Martinez in left. You got Moreland at first, Hanley DHing. So give him some time off. Maybe he'll come into it. Obviously, as you said, baseball's a long season, 6 months. We're only through a month and a half, only a quarter of the way through the season. So lots of time to go. Not really time to panic yet. Still in that wild card and only a couple games behind the Yankees. We'll take our final break. When we come back, we'll talk some Patriots as the offseason continues to roll on. We'll also make our Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.